Well, I made a mistake. I messed up in the last video. I put out some bad information, and I think no information is better than bad information. So today I want to correct that. So rather than ignore it, let's fix it. So last week we were looking at the EcoCool RV AC because it's the quietest RV AC we've ever used. It's 30% more efficient. I read that it had an inverter compressor, making it easier to start on small generators, not needing like a micro air EasyStart to be able to start it. So we wanted to put it through those tests and see how it did. The area that I messed up is I called it an inverter variable speed compressor, and it is not. So that's where I wanted to make sure that I gave you the proper information, because the stuff that I put here, I always want it to be to help you enjoy RVing even more. I have a couple of things that I kind of always set up as a goal. Number one, I don't want to waste your time. If I'm giving you bad information, it's going to be wasting your time. So even when I put these things together, I try and do it in a way that compacts all the information to get it to you quick and not waste your time. I think your time is valuable, and I don't want to waste it. Number two, if it's not good information, what's the point of it? So I usually spend a really healthy amount of time trying to make sure that I have the proper information, so when it goes in, you're getting good information that you can trust. Those are the things that I want to do. I don't want to waste your time. I want to be trustworthy, and I want to give you good information so you can enjoy RVing even more. So when I make a mistake, I want to live up to it. I don't want to just sweep it under the rug, because that's easy to do. It's easy to want to look like you never make a mistake. And honestly, I'm human. I do make mistakes. So as much as my pride kind of builds up inside of me, and I don't want you to see the flaws or mistakes that I do have, I'm human. I do have mistakes. I do get things wrong occasionally, but I do want to correct those and make those right. I know that kind of goes a little bit more beyond than just saying that an AC unit has a variable speed compressor and then a quick little correction. I want to make sure that I'm communicating to you that I really do want to try hard and give you the best information that I possibly can. I want to minimize those mistakes, so this is a source of information that you can trust. So let's get into it. Let's fix those mistakes and the information that kind of would flush itself out from knowing that it's not a variable speed compressor in that AC to accompany that last video. So since it's not a variable speed compressor, we can put a micro air EasyStart on that to make it easier for the generator. So let's test that. Let's get one installed on that. I found a diagram in order to be able to install that. It's going to take less than a couple of minutes to run through what that is. I did that earlier when it's not as hot outside, but I wanted to make sure that I test it in the heat, because that does make a difference on it starting on a generator and the overall function of the AC. You want to test it in the heat, not when it's cold and it's easier for it to work. So let's get to opening it up and installing it. Now there's a couple of things that you always want to be aware of when doing this. First off, you're going to open it up. We see the capacitor there. We want to discharge that. So I'm going to use a multimeter to get in there and make sure that that is discharged so I don't get shocked. And the power's already off to this unit, but then I'm going to use some needle nose pliers to just double check to make sure that I have no charge on there. And then I take the cap off of the compressor, because that's usually the roadmap to be able to connect one of these up. So following the diagram, the first step is pretty easy. I'm going to connect the EasyStart orange wire on the capacitor next to the yellow wire. So that first step is extremely easy. The second step is to make a three-way splice with the EasyStart black wire and the red wire coming off of the compressor. So follow that wire over, find a place that I can splice into it, and connect the black wire to the now red wires. Step number 3 is to remove the blue wire, which is coming off the R terminal of the compressor. We can find that over at the capacitor, and then we're going to cut that so that we can splice that blue wire with the brown wire coming off of the micro air EasyStart. So those two wires get spliced together. And then the fourth step is that extra terminal that we just opened up from that blue wire, is we're going to connect the EasyStart white wire on that terminal. Then I just like to check it over, make sure that I did all the steps properly, double checking it, and then put it back together, and then we can test it out. So now here is where we're at. I've already started the AC a handful of times, which is what you have to do to initialize the micro air EasyStart. And I did some tests to see what that peak startup amperage is. And so we're below 20 amps. And so now it's 90 degrees outside, and the test is, this is the one that it failed last time, is starting on a small generator. Let's see how it does now. Okay, here we go. We're gonna turn on the AC and we can watch exactly what it's going to do. There's the fan. And the compressor kicked on. There we go. That was our answer. You can hear the generator when it's taking on the load of running the AC. But yeah, it started it. It didn't seem taxing for it at all. So with the Micro-Air EasyStart, you can use it with a really small generator like we use. So now that should clear up the questions and corrections from what we talked about previously. I did go back and I pulled out those sections of the video. So if you are curious about this AC being quieter, it's actually running in the background right now. The only AC I've ever been able to do that with. All those numbers are still going to hold true in that last video as far as sound, efficiency, and all that. This is just a supplement to that. So there's going to be a link down in the description to that. But I hope you hear my heart. I'm not anything special. I just want to share the information that I have with you. I value your time. I value trying to get you good information so that you can trust what you hear here. I honestly sometimes have this fear that if we meet in person, which I absolutely love, if you see me out there and we're RVing, please come up, say hi. I would love to see you face to face, but I have this fear that sometimes I'm gonna let you down because on here I can edit the mistakes out. I can seem more put together than I actually am in person. So I need to get over those fears, get over trying to be perfect for other people because I just want to RV and I want to share that information with you. So anyways, I think that's going to do it for today. I hope this helped you out in some way and correct some of those mistakes from last time. But as always, if we don't see you on the road, hopefully we will see you next video. Take care.